I'm Chris Sheasgreen, and I'm one of the writers, creators of Less Than Kind, and we're on the set
of Less Than Kind, first season. I'm Marvin, Kaye. I'm one of the writers, co-executive producers, creators.
All the same.
All the same.
How did you know when and who to pitch to?
How? It was part of the process of the Totally Television program. They basically...
We had to do 3 practice pitches. So.
Yeah, so...
And Chum was one of them. So we went and did that. And it was basically our assignment. So that was how we ended up going to Chum. But it worked out well.
But it also, it was a matter of like shortening that list and who were the top 3 broadcasters that would match our show, and Chum happened to be one of them that we felt would be right for the show. So, but it was part of the process of the school.
What was the actual pitch like?
It felt a lot like acting school.
Yeah,
we did a lot of rehearsing.
We rehearsed a lot, but it was funny because Diane, who we pitched with Chum, when every time you pitch, it's different. Some people will interrupt you and start asking questions. Other people will let you do your 5-minute presentation and then start to participate. But Diane was it was very much a conversation. We said a few of our rehearsed lines, and then she was asking questions, and it was just a back and forth pretty much for the whole 10, 20. It actually went on for a while with Diane.
Yeah, she asked a lot of really good questions, pointed questions, and character and motivation and stuff like that. It was good. Whereas with another broadcaster, they just let us do our 5-minute spiel, and then the questions started coming.
Song and then they were like, okay, let's see. It was more, but Chum was less of an audition, more of a conversation.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yep.
How long did it take for you to hear back from Chum?
8 months? It was about 8 months, which seemed really long. As a matter of fact, we'd already written it off, they weren't interested. And when did we get a call? I remember they called my apartment.
And you were working on a show, weren't you?
Yeah, and they called my apartment 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock on a Thursday night, and said they were interested in talking to us more about this and perhaps going into development. It was really, to us, felt like it came out of the blue because we hadn't spoken to him in over half a year.
Yeah.
And suddenly it came back, and they wanted to have a conversation. So that seemed long.
What happened when you heard you were going into development?
I guess I'm trying to remember exactly what happened. I remember I was at home jumping, and within a few days we were talking about development contracts and how that was going to proceed. And we were already signed on with Breakthrough at the time as our executive producers, and we immediately jumped into it. Right after that, once it started rolling fairly quickly.
How long were you in development for before you got the green light for production?
Let's say close to 2 years. Is that fair? Close to 2 years of development.
Yeah.
And then we
were developed through the NSI. That was another year, and then Marvin and I had actually been working on it for almost a year before we went to the NSI.
So we had a year before the NSI process. And then we signed on with Breakthrough. Chum calls, we get development, and then we have another year and a half or so with Chum. And Breakthrough. So it's a long process. Plus, the original show started off as a play that I wrote in '95. So if you really want to stretch the development from conception to production, we're talking over 10 years. Yeah. But from the conception of it as a show to production, it was probably in the neighborhood of 2 to 3 years.
3, closer to 3.
Yeah.
What are your responsibilities as a producer on the series?
You get up, you go to work, and you look at the scripts. You got to figure out what you're shooting the next day. You figure out what scenes are coming up, making sure the tone is hit. The casting. There's, the list of music. There's lots of things that are just going on all at once, and so it's trying to balance all that so you can sort of keep moving forward and answering those. But yeah,
it's our job to develop what the show is going to look like, feel like, sound like, and we have to sort of keep guard on that vision and make sure it's what we intended it to be, and what the network purchased.
And make sure that everybody understands the vision that we're going with, and it's our responsibility to make sure that everybody's on the same page.
As a writer on the show, What are your responsibilities?
Well, I mean, there's no single writer. I mean, we tried as hard as we could to have a writer's room. Budget constrained that room to a bit, but at one point we did have 5 writers in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And even though, one person's name may appear on a script,
a
that
lot of
script
voices.
goes through so many revisions, and everybody has a say and a voice in that script, that no single script belongs to anybody. My scripts, Chris's scripts, Mark McKinney's scripts, who's our executive story editor, we all take a pass on each other's stuff and put notes and do changes or recommend changes. So
Yeah, it's a collaborative process.
And frankly, I think it's a much better product that you get than just a single voice and a single vision. It's everybody teaming in and
Because
putting in
sometimes
the best they have.
you get really tunnel vision about how you see it, and you can't get out of it. You can't get out of it, and somebody will like say something or do something. And you're like, oh, of course, and then they can go ahead and write it or something like that. They'll see something that maybe you didn't see, which is why it's nice to have more than
and
one writer.
it's just efficient too. Things get done faster.
Yeah. What is it really like working with a broadcaster?
Chum has been, frankly, quite wonderful.
It's been awesome.
They said they wanted a show that was edgier and something, and they liked our vision of what we pitched to them. They've pretty much been hands off, or either that, or we've just made the choices that they wanted. Because we haven't had, I think we've had one disagreement over a casting issue, and that was about it.